Hello, and welcome to the BullCast podcast. I'm Katie Pickler, and with me today is Cortland Winsett.
Hello, Katie.
And Cameron Spann.
I can already tell this show's going off the rails, and we just started. I love it. Hello.
So we just had a real deep, serious last episode talking about war and the impact on the markets. And so what do most people do when they're trying to escape conflict, crazy, heavy topics in your real life? Well, you find comfort in your favorite TV shows, your movies, things like that. So this is going to be a fun episode. What classic TV shows can teach you about money? And we've got a fun little ditty here.
Oh, I'm thinking this is just all kinds of fun. I'm so looking forward to this.
I will prepare you. Just, bear with us for the next minute as we get this out, and then we can get into the episode of this. But please don't turn us off just for this first little intro. Here's the story of a show called BullCast.
With Katie, Cort, and Cam on the mic.
Talking money, markets, and random things.
Some helpful, some in between.
Here's the story of a few financial folks
Who were busy with clients all day.
But they knew that classic TV could teach us
how to plan our money the right way. Till the one day when the BullCast go right together to talk finances through a different lens.
And that's the way we all became the BullCast family.
the BullCast family. The BullCast family.
I think we just lost all subscribers.
Okay, but listen, to be fair, if you didn't grow up watching The Brady Bunch, then you may be really, really confused right now. But that is a classic television show from my youth.
I love The Brady Bunch.
Nick at Night. The reruns.
Marsha.
Yeah.
I love that Cort was so over it. He's just like, I'm taking the rest of the lines. We're getting through this.
I know. When we practiced through this before this episode, and Cam and I were kind of trying to sing it, and Cort's like,
well, I was really channeling my own version of Harrison Ford from Shrinking.
Yeah.
Rough kind of. But y'all said it was throwing you off, so I was like, okay, we'll give it a shot. But man,
Nicole just teased me. She's down the hall, and she just said, "You guys are providing me a lot of laughs right now."
But today we're talking financial lessons from classic TV shows, some of which may be more educational than they were ever intended to be. So yes, we are talking classic TV shows. Let's start it off.
Okay. So number one, Gilligan's Island. I guess y'all probably saw that on Nick at Night too.
Yep.
Yeah, love Gilligan's Island.
Either that or maybe what was the one that played the even older stuff? Was that TV Land?
TV Land.
TV Land, yes. Yeah, because I had I Love Lucy and Laverne and Shirley, Happy Days.
When Nick at Night first started, they were playing I Love Lucy and Laverne and Shirley, and TV Land was playing stuff like The Moonlighters. And then Nick at Night has gone along. Now they're playing Friends, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's crazy that Friends is on that. And I just talking about classic shows, I just saw that they're doing like a Little House on the Prairie reboot.
Oh,
It was a pretty good trailer.
Netflix is doing the reboot, and I'm really looking forward to it. So.
Well, it's funny because I'm wanting to watch the new season of Euphoria, so I watched the last two episodes of the previous season since it's been so long, and I'd forgotten that one of the main drug dealer characters loved A Little House on the Prairie, which is just so not in character, but it's awesome. Anyways, back to Gilligan's Island.
Gilligan's Island, don't sink trying to time the market. This is a classic and I think enduring message that we try and impress upon our people, our listeners.
Okay, so for those who don't know, this is another one that had a great little intro song. And so Gilligan's Island they went on a 3-hour tour.
A 3-hour tour.
And it was The Millionaire and His Wife, the movie star, Skipper, and Marianne.
I feel like we need to sing it in order.
Yeah, we got to sing it in order.
The Skipper and his first mate. I don't remember what they say in the song. And then
the Professor.
Millionaire and His Wife, a movie star. And then the song, the very first season of the show, the song ended, the Professor and all the rest.
Oh.
And the only person they left out of the original song was Marianne. And so then in the second season, I guess they added her into
Professor
the end of the
and
song.
Marianne.
I always thought it was weird that everyone had like a nickname or like a genre, and it was just Marianne.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
So it's these people that are from different life cycles on this supposed 3-hour tour, and they get shipwrecked. And so it is all about them. And there's all questions from this. Why did they have all this stuff with them on this 3-hour tour? What was going on? But it is a great, great show. So Gilligan and Mr. Howell stuck in quicksand, skipper, panic energy, buying stocks just because they're down equals quicksand.
Okay.
You think you're stepping in carefully, then suddenly you're stuck. Which, can we talk about the fact that a lot of classic TV shows made you scared of quicksand and that was going to randomly happen in your life all the time?
Oh, yeah. It was a bigger problem than it actually is.
Like, I don't know any other.
I've never run into quicksand in my
never
in my
run
life.
into quicksand either. But there's so many shows that it's like, oh, there's quicksand. Watch out.
Well, as with many metaphors, and anytime we try and do something light, this is straining the bounds of the metaphor. But basically what they're saying here is, if you are trying to find a stock that it's the bottom price and you get in to try and take advantage of the fact that it's low and it just keeps getting lower, you're basically stuck there trying to wait it out. And that's not necessarily a bad idea. So David and Katie have a lot of people coming to them right now and asking them about, is the timing, is it good to get into the market right now? Are we at a low point where I can get in now and make a lot of bank? And the idea, obviously, that David and Katie are going to pass along to people is, as we have always said, don't try and time it. This isn't like jump rope where you're trying to find the exact right time to jump in on that rope and start skipping. If you have a strategy, if you have an allocation, if you have a strategy that you like, that you think is going to be successful, then get in. If you don't think it's going to be successful, then all the timing in the world isn't going to help you.
Yeah, so that this don't sink trying to time the market is too many people are trying to, it's time to get in, time to get out. Yeah. And you're constantly having to stay on top of watching the market. You're constantly having to do a ton of research, and you're more than likely not going to get it right. And that's where it is a strategy. It's not a very great strategy at all. It's better to have your overall plan and not worry about trying to find that perfect moment, but instead just say, this is what makes sense now with my time horizon, with my risk level. And a lot of times where people do this is they are trying to take money and they're doing the get rich quick scheme, which is not a good plan. Or they're putting money at risk that has no reason to be, like, for the time period. I want to put this money in and earn as much as possible, but I'm going to need it in 6 months. Okay, well, no. You need the money in 6 months. It needs to be very conservative, very liquid and available. You don't need to be tied up trying to find that right timing. And so,
just to be clear, we're not saying that there aren't people out there that make great deals of money buying and selling on the market, watching it closely and making big trades and making big money. That's not for everybody. And that's not the best approach for a person who is really looking to build a long-term sort of plan for their life, I
would spin this with Gilligan's Island more of they couldn't panic. If they had panicked immediately of, oh my gosh, we're shipwrecked, that's when you're wasteful. You think about it, like when you start panicking, you're rushing around, doing all this stuff, you make mistakes. You cause detrimental damage that is lasting for as long as they're on that island, as long as you're in the market. You could be wasting money. You could be wasting precious time, making stupid decisions that are not the best option for you. And so it kind of goes back to the marketing piece that we've got of how to survive a bear attack, where it is stop, don't panic, assess the situation, and go back to your plan of what you know what to do.
A bear market attack.
Because
a bear attack is a completely different story.
Yeah. We're not advising you on what, if a bear shows up, don't go, oh, well, Pickler Wealth Advisors gave me this plan.
Yes. For our next show, let's go to the world of animation.
Okay.
That would be the Acme stars, Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner.
I just had the boys watch this for the first time, and I was so excited.
Did they love it?
They really could care less.
Yeah,
They're like,
moving colors.
No, but look.
Yeah, I was like, look. I sat there and watched it for 15 minutes, and I was like, okay, we'll turn it off.
But why do we bring up Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner? Because the series is basically a never-ending chase. Yeah. That is the premise of the show.
Wile E. Coyote does not give up. He is constantly trying. No matter how many times Roadrunner beats him, no matter how many times Wile E. should have died.
Yeah.
And I mean, you watched it. It's just within one episode, so much can happen.
One of the classic scenes. So one of the classic scenes is Wile E. chasing the Roadrunner. He's always chasing the Roadrunner, and the Roadrunner runs right across a canyon and gets to the other side because he's just super fast.
Super fast.
Yeah.
And Wile E. gets out over open air and doesn't realize it until it's too late. And he looks at the camera and then falls to the bottom of the canyon. That's, I mean,
classic.
Yeah.
This spin is interesting. And the lesson to learn from this is don't always be so focused on the chase and constantly trying to get the next big thing, whether it's the next dollar, the next status symbol, or even if you catch it, it's not enough. And that's where it's, you may think you've caught it and then boom, you fall. Mm-hmm. This goes to our keeping up with the Joneses that we've talked about a ton.
We've also talked about the emotional link between money and your finances and your personal emotional state. But there's this idea that, if I could just get this, then my life would be okay.
Yeah, money will fix things. Yeah. And it's, having money to then allocate to different things. It does solve problems,
absolutely.
But it doesn't fix all problems.
Right.
And every single person is going to have something that they're struggling with, some kind of whatever.
But I mean, if you're chasing after the wrong thing, then ultimately that it's going to be your happiness, if you find it from catching something, is just going to be short-lived. And it's ultimately you're going to be looking for the next big thing next.
And unfortunately, we live in a society, especially with social media, where it is constantly comparing to what's not real. Like Coachella has been going on. And I've seen a lot of people talking about how this great music festival that I didn't realize really kicked off to be kind of a screw you to Ticketmaster. And it used to be just, it was always kind of more of an elitist kind of concert going thing. It's in the middle of the desert, but it has turned into all these paid influencers are going there. Celebrities are going there, and nobody, now again, this is a couple of articles I saw, and I saw several because I try and make sure I'm looking at a couple of different things before I say, this is the word. But that it has become so much more, people are there just to put it out in their social media persona, and they don't actually enjoy the concerts. You look at the concerts and there's nobody really soaking in the moment being a part of it, versus the Masters that we just went through. No cell phones allowed. You have to be in the moment and watch and really soak that in. And
the food is super cheap.
Oh, yeah. So this goes back to the Wile E, Coyote, and Roadrunner. I'm going to wrap that back up. Do not, obviously it's very entertaining watching this chase, and it's made many, 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 many episodes and fun. But Mr. Wile E. Coyote has not learned. He's going to continue to chase. So that is something that is a certain and guaranteed. He's going to keep going after him. But you do not need to necessarily get your advice from him. Now, if you're Roadrunner, then you just keep outsmarting him. So that's some good advice, I guess. Be Roadrunner. Let's go to the next show.
Okay. Well, the next show is fittingly, I guess, for the old guy. I don't know if y'all did that on purpose, but the next show is Lassie, old black and white TV show about a collie named Lassie who was a faithful animal to her owner, Timmy, a little boy. And of course, there's the classic Timmy falling in the well. And the financial lesson that you can take away from this is reliability is your real wealth. So whenever, I don't know if he did multiple times, but whenever Timmy fell in the well, Lassie always
Timmy,
showed
stay away
up.
from the well.
Yeah. I mean, if it was multiple times, they really needed to fill that well in. But anyway, every time Timmy fell in the well, Lassie would always show up at the exact right moment. So a good financial plan is always there when you need it. Like life insurance, disability insurances, health spending accounts. These are all things that if you have them there, if they're available for you, then they will be there when you need them. And financial plan, if it's there and it's not right for your current circumstances, you can always change it.
I like that it says, your financial plan should be like Lassie, not flashy, just always there. And a cute dog always helps. But
100%.
You mentioned the life insurance, disability insurance, but it's also that diversification, which we've talked about before, is that when it's not flashy, your reliability and real wealth, obviously nothing in the markets are guaranteed, but having that kind of comfort of, I have these accounts allocated with very, slow and steady, conservative growth, proven track record that it's been pretty consistent.
One of the things that we don't really talk about a lot is what exactly is a financial plan and what exactly goes into the idea of a financial plan. I'm sure we've done an episode on it, but a lot of times I think people may think of a financial plan as like, oh, okay, but I'm not going to retire anytime soon, so I don't need a financial plan. Or, oh, okay, but I don't have any kids, so I don't need a financial plan because I don't need to send my kids to college because I don't have kids. Financial plan covers everything from what your budget and what your means are right now to what your goals are in life, any kind of financial goal that you have and how you can reach those goals.
Kind of like a dream playbook. And it's where you can see, are you on the right track today? It's not taking things from a very day-to-day detail, but it's looking at more the bigger picture and seeing, is what you're doing today in line to meet your future goals? Or if it's not, what do you need to change today? So, for example, if somebody's got a pay raise, I can then look at this and see if you took that additional if you took that additional money that came in and put it all into the retirement account versus putting it all into a non-retirement account, how does that impact your overall plan? The retirement account one, that can make it where you've got extra money for when you retire, but the non-retirement means that you're a couple years closer to your down payment goal. So there's so many different things that are intertwined within that. Going back to Lassie, that reliability is real wealth. It's also going into, building your team and making sure you've got the right people that can help you and that are going to be that phone call and kind of be reliable, that whether they have the answers or not, you can call them and they can help. And that's what I try and be for my clients is I don't have all the answers, but I can sure research it, or I can pull in different partners and be that reliable partner if you need me to.
You got a lot of clients that are falling in wells, Katie?
Lots of them. So I got to call Lassie.
Okay.
I got 2 questions for you, Cort.
Yes, sir.
Would you consider Lassie a superhero?
No. She was just a dog.
Just a dog that was always there to help.
Yeah. She wasn't even my favorite dog. She was a little bit before my time, but she wasn't even my favorite dog. I was a real fan of Benji when I was growing up. I don't know if y'all...
I know
Benji. Yeah.
And the second question is, who do you think owns the rights to Lassie?
It's going to be something crazy.
I don't know.
It's a movie studio, but not what you would think. It would be DreamWorks Animation. 2012.
Interesting.
Cool.
And the next show, The Brady Bunch, which is what we started this episode with.
That was the crime against humanity with which we started the episode.
Family, fairness, and planning ahead. Marsha. So this was a blended family.
Oh, yes.
And under one roof.
That's some complex financial planning there.
Yeah. And I would imagine to throw in there, that's be some complex estate planning as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Blended families, complexity across the board. Fair doesn't always mean equal. So estate planning, communication between family members, avoiding future conflicts. Without a plan, your estate can turn into a Brady Bunch episode, and not in a good way. So there was constantly a lot of different conflict over rooms, over just, kids being kids. And, this was obviously a great wholesome show. So there was very little of fighting between the parents. So you didn't have that aspect of it. But obviously with blended families, then you do have to think about, I've had 2 situations recently. One where it was a blended family, but the wife did not have any kids of her own. And when her husband passed away, the money was left to her to then determine what she wanted to do with it. Now, if she had passed away first, then the husband was going to leave the money to his kids. But since he passed away first, she got full control to do whatever she wanted. And then when she passed away, kids didn't have anything to do with her. So she got to choose what to do with the money. Versus another situation I have, same situation, but this was a blended family with both sets having kids, and they had specific instructions in place to take care of the spouse, but then also go ahead and take care of the kids. Lots of complicated, lots of confusions.
And Alice, always there to help.
Alice was reliable. She was reliable Alice, able to help out and do things. Now, I watched the Brady Bunch show a ton, and then the Brady Bunch movies. I remember
from the 90s. I loved those. Man.
Those were the real awkward one with the, George Glass. And the brother and sister.
Man.
That was weird. So family, fairness, and planning ahead. And this is something that Cort and I talk about a lot, and David as well. It is when you are planning for finances, it's better sometimes to let you be the parent and let a professional, whether it's an attorney, a financial planner, help kind of be that bad guy and poke holes in your plan, because a lot of times it's not the kids are the issue, it's their spouses or the people that can come into their life. When somebody's pushing towards you and saying, well, I know you think your kids are great and they really get along right now, but when this situation happens or that situation happens, gloves are off.
Oh, yeah.
So when somebody's recommending things like that, it's not that we think your kids are bad kids. It's that we're trying to protect you from what we've seen happen.
So obviously we've beat that drum probably to death, but you certainly need to make sure that you have a plan in place. You cannot possibly plan for every single contingency. And if you walk into a lawyer's office asking them to plan for every single contingency, they will get very frustrated very quickly, because if you're an imaginative person, you can come up with any number of scenarios that you want to try and plan for. But the point is to have a good, firm plan in place that will cover all of the bases. You don't necessarily have to be equal. You don't even necessarily have to include everybody if you don't want to, but it's better to have a plan than not, because then everybody's just going to be bickering and fighting.
Cam, cue that whistle.
Thank you, Cort. Andy Griffith.
Yes, indeed. So Andy Griffith, whistling theme song, obviously. Everybody remembers that theme song. I think even my kids probably know that theme song. Even your kids probably know that theme song.
Is this more wholesome than Lassie? This may be the most wholesome show of all time.
This has got to be right up there. So the idea behind what lesson this particular show can teach you is that not necessarily everything has to be Bright Lights, Big City. Not everything has to be the Wolf of Wall Street. The calm, simple life of Mayberry Andy was a successful guy. He was happy. He had what he wanted. He had what he needed. He had Opie, his son. They'd go fishing. He had a deputy that had a gun with one bullet in it. Mm-hmm. But
don't you wish you could have those simple days?
Yeah,
good old Mayberry.
He lived in simple times, and he had a simple, folksy sort of everyman's kind of solution to the problems that would arise. And there is a value to living within your means, obviously, but focusing on what is good and right, and making sure that you have consistent habits, consistent values, that you're disciplined about the way you approach your life, and then you too can be just like Andy and have a lovely life in Mayberry. Sometimes the best financial plans look more like Mayberry than Wall Street, or we might say more like Main Street than Wall Street.
We say Main Street.
We do.
And I'd say we're kind of a Mayberry. Y'all.
Mayberry.
Mayberry, get over here.
Mayberry. We don't try and be everybody's advisor. We're not going after the ultra, ultra rich, and because that's a different caliber of people. And we really want to help the mom and pop of America. We want to help just people who want help, number one, but a lot of times there's stigma of financial advisor, wealth. I mean, our name, Pickler Wealth Advisors, are like, oh, I have to be ultra wealthy to go talk to them. No, we really want to help the Andy Griffiths of the world. And we have a lot of clients that are like Andy, and that just good old boys who have worked hard. And that is a whole different aspect of it, because going back to some of our behavioral finance aspects, and how there is a group of people that will always believe there's never enough money. And that's a financial plan as well, of really educating people on, you've worked hard. Yes, remove some of that fear, because you've got a good plan in place that shows you're going to be okay.
Side note, did y'all ever see the movie Pleasantville?
Yes.
Yeah, I loved
Yeah,
Pleasantville.
where they
Loved
live
it.
in a black and white time, and then something naughty happens, and they start turning color.
Everybody turns color.
Oh, yeah.
And the people that turn color are the ones that are up to the naughty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was a fun
Sitting
movie.
in their car together, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Going to the drive-in. Okay.
Hit us with that next one.
Yes.
Story.
This is a story all about how my life got turned upside down. This would be The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now, this is definitely my generation. When I was young, we would watch these, just so good. Did you watch it, Cort, or was this kind of beyond?
I didn't watch it, but I was very, very familiar with it. Yeah, it definitely was. It hit in my youth.
Yeah, Will Smith's breakout role, this television show, all about sudden lifestyle changes. This is a boy from the streets of Philly who is shipped off to his uncle and aunt's house in Bel Air, and they are very well off.
Yes.
Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv. Is that right? I think so.
Sounds
Vivian.
right.
Yeah.
Will moves, from modest to wealthy environment.
Yes.
Income changes don't automatically create financial wisdom. Ooh, that's interesting.
Okay. Well, that's true. I mean, like, one of the interesting things that we were talking about recently was athletes, especially now that athletes, not just coming out of college and into the pros, but athletes coming into college are presented with situations where they've got a whole lot of money, and a lot of them are coming from a background with not a whole lot of money. And so...
And you got a lot of vultures that are trying to...
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
advise you and take advantage of you, and it's not the smart move. So it's income changes don't automatically create financial wisdom is so true, because there's a lot of people that get thrown into money. Like I was talking about before, having that shift of... I don't feel like there's going to be enough money. Or the opposite side, people get thrown into money and they don't have that perspective of with more money is more tax, is more like
with great money comes great responsibility
and big old tax bills that you got to prepare for.
Indeed.
And so if you're not smart, and windfalls, if people inherit money and they're not smart with it, then you're going to be in a bad situation. Environmental influences, spending habits. Again, with Will had a lot of different challenges with living with his uncle and aunt, and even had some impacts with some of his old friends, and then just adjusting to the new lifestyle. And that kind of goes a little bit with the keeping up with the Joneses, because, you know, he was coming from a totally different environment, thrown into this world. And you hear that a lot of, you know, what is it, born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Mm-hmm. And so money does change different things. How you were raised changes things, but it doesn't necessarily be a good thing or bad thing. It's just every time you have something like this, you got to take a second to reset and adjust and always go back to that plan. Our last show. You want to take it, Cam?
I just took Fresh
Oh, you
Prince.
did take.
I feel like this has Cort written all over it, right?
Oh, I mean,
this is your generation, right?
I mean, it is my generation, certainly.
I don't know that I've ever watched this, but I know I reference this a lot.
Okay, so the lesson that we're going to learn is start where you are. And we're going to learn that from the TV show MacGyver.
I'm surprised the lesson isn't learn how to build a bomb from
Yeah.
gun.
Yeah, because MacGyver was like very creative.
Start where you are. Start with what you have. That's how you're going to build anything successfully, is you take what you have.
Assess your situation.
Yeah. So MacGyver could solve a complex problem using simple tools like paperclip and duct tape. You know, sometimes maybe a potato or a battery might be involved, but, you know, he was always building stuff out of whatever was surrounding him and basically making something out of nothing. So you don't need to have a pre-made bomb to successfully end up with a bomb just using, and I guess I should say a bomb diggity. If you start out and you assess what you have and you figure out what you can do with what you have, and then you plan for your future based on what you have now, you can build a future with whatever you start off with. If you find yourself in quicksand, if you find yourself in a hole right now, you can find a way to dig yourself out of that hole, to pull yourself out of that quicksand, to build yourself a better future, a better life. If you just, you know, stay calm, as MacGyver always did, look around, find that chewing gum wrapper that will come in handy later, figure out what you earn, what you owe, what you have to spend, what you may spend every single month of the year, and figure out what you want more and less and what you would prefer to have none of. That's your basic budget. And then, you know, again, as we've gone through everything before, use the tools that are provided to you, but some tools are wrong for the job. You would never see MacGyver reach for a hammer when he needed a screwdriver. Mm-hmm. If you're trying to dig yourself out of a hole, or if you're trying to build a better financial future, don't use a debit card when you should be using a credit card. If the situation calls for cash, then use cash. But understand that not every situation calls for the same solution. So cash may be king, but cash is not always the right solution.
Yeah.
Debit card is hardly ever the right solution, but, you know, taking out a loan sometimes is better than spending your own money. There are circumstances in which every solution might have the proper application. You just have to figure out which application or which tool is applied properly in the situation that you find yourself. Financial planning is not about perfection. It's about progress. So you just one step at a time, stay calm, figure out where you're going and figure out how you're going to get there. And then you just build it piece by piece until you finally have that big, beautiful kablooey.
I thought you were going to say big, beautiful Bill.
No.
At Pickler Wealth Advisors, we can be your MacGyver. Better than Alice.
Yes,
it's got
indeed.
Ring to it.
Yeah.
We can be your Mayberry. We can be your MacGyver. We can be whatever you want.
I like it.
Yes.
We can be your island.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Okay, so this was kind of a fun one. Hopefully you do not hate us for starting the episode singing. It's been a while since we sung. We used to sing a lot. Your financial life may not be a sitcom, but if you don't plan for it, it definitely can turn into one. Obviously, there are so many great sitcoms. What I hate now about all the Netflix and Hulus and Amazon Primes and all that of the world is the sitcom having so many episodes that are out just doesn't exist anymore. We've got some great shows out there, but you'll get a season and it'll be, 10 episodes long versus some of these were, 30, 40 episodes.
I do feel like the turnaround from season to season seems to be a little bit quicker, at least for those shows that are popular and that aren't really, really expensive and complicated to produce. Like a show like, for instance, right now they're already in production for season 3 of Nobody Wants This, which is a little romantic comedy with Kristen Bell and dude face who I can't remember his name right now. But anyway, very, very popular. I think it's on Netflix. They just released season 2 back in like October, November, and they're already filming season 3. I bet you it comes out any time now. Adam Brody. His name is Adam Brody. I do miss the days of old with sitcoms and 22 to 30 episodes and so forth. But the thing about those sitcoms with 30 episodes is they ended up having to produce a lot of filler.
They produced a lot of filler.
30 episodes worth of stuff was a high bar to...
Yeah, they would tackle, short things within it. If you get used to watching some like hour-long episodes and then you watch sitcoms and you're like, oh, wow, when you stripped away the commercials and you stripped away this, they're real short.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a lot of ideas. I'm pretty sure in a Gilligan's Island, there's a robot or an alien. Like, they got real crazy on that show.
Yeah. We can use TV shows, we can use sitcoms to kind of help us compare and have fun with our lives and learn some lessons from it. But do not try and compare yourself to all the influencers out in the world. You are each unique. You each have your own unique plan. And, obviously, if your goal is to be MacGyver or to be the millionaire on Gilligan's Island or any of these different characters, hopefully it's not your goal to be Timmy and keep falling in wells. But whatever it may be, find those partners. Know that it doesn't have to be flashy. It can be simple, reliable, not trying to time the market, starting with where you are. I love MacGyver as the last one we did. And honestly, that is just a top one. Just assess where you are. Too many times people come in to meet with us and they say, I should have come and seen you years ago. I feel like I'm too late. You're starting today. Just start.
Oh, well, listen there. Ladies and gentlemen, there's the closing bell. You've made it to the end of yet another episode of the BullCast podcast. If you liked what you heard and you'd like to hear more, please feel free to go to your favorite subscription service and sign up to have our podcast delivered directly to your device every single Thursday at noon. If you'd like to find out more about Cortland, Katie, Cameron, or Nicole, please feel free to go to our website. That website is bullcastpodcast.com. We've got pictures up there. We've got our bios, but we've got also got a place where you can drop a comment or suggest a topic you'd like to hear us talk more about. But I mentioned pictures. We do have an Instagram handle where we do have all the pictures, and that handle is @BullCastPodcast. We also have an X handle, which is also @BullCastPodcast. And rounding out the social media, we have a Facebook page, which is BullCast the Podcast. But as I mention every episode, Katie, Cameron, Nicole, and I all work at a place called Pickler Wealth Advisors. And if you would like to find out even more information about us, or find out about what we do, find out about what we could do for you, find out about our amazing team, or find out about our boss, David Pickler, please feel free to go to that website. That website is picklerwealthadvisors.com.
That's advisors with an O.
Not an E.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have given you some great suggestions for going out and watching some old TV shows and learning some great life lessons, especially on those very special episodes. So for now, I'm Cort.
I'm Katie.
I'm Cam.
And we're done.